Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Sunday night, and it's time for another video game review for the video game section of the YouTube channel. I didn't watch the game because I really don't like watching the New Orleans Saints play because I hate them and don't like to see them win, which they often do because as much as I hate to admit it, Drew Brees is a good quarterback. He's also a cheater and a hypocrite, which is why I'm so happy as a Minnesota Vikings fan that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sent them packing with their 30-20 win. So good going, Tom Brady. You truly are the greatest of all time. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program now that I've gotten my anger out at the New Orleans Saints who prevented my beloved Minnesota Vikings from making the Super Bowl in 2009 with their vicious bounty program. I want us to review a very, very cool game for the Sega Saturn, my favorite video game console. And in the absence of a really marquee Sonic the Hedgehog title, the Virtua Fighter franchise really was the mascot for the console, and accompanying Virtua Fighter 1 and Virtua Fighter 2, which were wildly popular in Japan, notably on the Sega Saturn, the fine people at Sega AM2 decided to treat fans of the Sega Saturn and Virtua Fighter to a series of, I guess you would call them like CDGs, basically, J-pop singles with some really, really nice images. And the one we're going to be reviewing tonight is the one for the protagonist of Virtua Fighter, and it's super interesting because this really is I would say maybe the really first hint at the Shenmue series. We're going to be looking at the CG portrait series of Akira Yuki. So now, those of you who have played and beaten Shenmue 2 on the Xbox know that you can see the Sega Saturn footage of Shenmue, and the person named Ryo in that Sega Saturn footage looks an awful lot like Akira wearing a white t-shirt, and that's because this isn't a shock, obviously, to many of you watching this, but Shenmue was developed as a Sega Saturn Virtua Fighter RPG that was supposed to be a sweeping epic story of Akira Yuki, the protagonist of Virtua Fighter. So Virtua Fighter as a video game franchise is notable for having no story in the actual game. The lore of Virtua Fighter are things that are picked up by other media produced by Sega outside of the games. And there actually is a pretty rich lore to Virtua Fighter, but you'd have to go on YouTube to figure it out, because if you just play the Virtua Fighter games as is, there is 99% out of the time no ending. I believe there are endings on Virtua Fighter Kids, but that's kind of a side story game. And they're just kind of like little cute endings. They don't really have a ton to do with the story. Why am I bringing this up? Because these portrait series have a lot of visuals that show the lives and backgrounds of the characters told through very, very nice computer graphic portraits, hence the name CG series. And they're accompanied by some very, very nice music. Now, the music that plays in the Akira CG portrait series is called Natsu no Arashi, and I believe the artist is Kei Inojo. And this song is actually on an album called Dancing with Shadows, and that's listed in the end of this video. But if you've played through Shenmue, you know that there's certain things that you see Ryo doing in Shenmue, like playing with cats, training in martial arts, and a lot of and just generally walking around towns and cities. And that's literally all Akira is shown doing in here. And he's wearing blue jeans and a white t-shirt with wristbands. And that is exactly how the Shenmue protagonist was portrayed in the Sega Saturn development clips of Shenmue. Now, Sadly, because the Sega Saturn didn't sell well outside of Japan, which was really, really unfortunate because it is my favorite video game console. A lot of the really groundbreaking projects that were in development for the Sega Saturn in 1998 were ported over to the Sega Dreamcast, and so that included Virtua Fighter RPG, which morphed into Shenmue. And if you have Virtua Fighter 3TB, the Japanese version, it actually comes in a double disc. And it comes with this Project Berkeley CD, which is all about the University of Berkeley and their unhinged ennui leftist hippies. No, that's not true at all. Actually, what it's about is the development of the Virtua Fighter RPG for the Sega Dreamcast, because now it was being ported over to the Sega Dreamcast and was becoming Shenmue. But this is included on here because Shenmue is supposed to be the Virtua Fighter RPG, even though story-wise, I guess they decided to evolve away from that, which I think is actually kind of unfortunate, because it would have been really phenomenal to have what many consider to be the quintessential 3D fighting game, the standard bearer of 3D fighting games, that's kind of noted for having no story, to really just having a groundbreaking, incredible story. And I haven't played Shenmue 3, but I have played through Shenmue 1 and 2, and I can honestly say they are some of my favorite role-playing games, and I really do need to get Shenmue 3. I just haven't gotten around to getting it yet. As you get older, it gets harder to play RPGs once you have a family and hobbies and, you know, a job and all that kind of stuff. So enough of my lamenting my adult responsibilities here. I don't think I will get in trouble for showing you guys this video as far as copyright strikes go, because other people have uploaded this on to YouTube. So, you know, really this, basically you can play in single mode, repeat mode, which is what I actually just put my son to sleep to this by having it on repeat mode and rocking him. And then there's also a karaoke mode, kind of sans words, where you can just kind of sing along and make a, you know, either a rock star out of yourself or idiot out of yourself. In my case, it's the latter. So, without further ado, why don't I show you what I've been talking about, because this really is not only some impressive artwork, but really beautiful music. And if you are a fan of the Virtua Fighter series, as I am, you'll notice that in Virtua Fighter 5, there's some really phenomenal music with some vocal tracks, and this is really reminiscent of that. So really, this is a treat, and I've yet to see any of these CG portrait series that have been anything less than stunning, and this one is, I think, particularly great because this really is Shenmue on the Sega Saturn, I think, as it really should have been, and it's really cool seeing Akira doing all of the things in Shenmue. So, without further ado, I'm going to, you know, kind of pump up the volume, and I will allow you to watch a playthrough of Natsu no Arashi and really enjoy yourself here. So I'm going to actually turn my volume up a bit, and then I'm going to zoom my camera in like so, and I'll hit the lights and let you start to enjoy the feels of this really, really cool, innovative, and fun Sega Saturn media disc. Feeling goosebumps? I know I am. And I'm also very lucky because I caught the camera stand with my foot. Good deal. Alright. Well, on that note, let's wrap up this review with my foot-caught camera stand and another queuing up of Natsu no Arashi. So I highly recommend the Virtua Fighter CG Portrait series. Whether you're a fan of Virtua Fighter, J-Pop, Sega Saturn, Sega AM2, Yu Suzuki, whatever it is, Shenmue, they're definitely worth picking up, and they're not actually too expensive. Check out eBay. I think you'll find some reasonable prices. I actually got mine in a kind of a bundle package that was just filled with Sega Saturn stuff that was fairly common in Japan, like the first Virtua Fighter, Fighting Vipers, stuff like that. So definitely look into it. Thank you for watching and bearing with my ranting about American football. And until next time, guys, my name is Noel. You take care. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the very near future. Bye-bye.